Hi guys, it's Doc's Market Minute for Wednesday, December 9th. And I'm looking at what's called a position analyzer. And it's something that I firmly believe that if you trade options, you've got to have something like this. Now, if you're an option trader, think of yourself as a puppeteer. They've got those, you've seen them before, those sticks, the cross of wooden sticks here like that. And then they're controlling the puppet by all these different strings. So they're controlling them by their feet, their hands, everything like that, by pulling up on one string or letting it go slack or whatever they have to do, or generally moving the entire puppet around. And that's the way that I want you to think about option trading, because there's so many things that control the price or the value of an option position, right? You know, we can think of price controls an option position, and we can understand how that is changed through delta as well as gamma to some extent. And we can think about how time changes an option position, and we can think of this as theta. And then we also have how implied volatility changes an option position, and this is going to be vega. So we've got all these things that are controlling and changing the value of a position, and until you start to understand the Greeks and understand how an actual position changes in value depending on how all these variables change, then it's going to be more difficult for you. What's going to happen is things are going to happen to your position that you don't see coming, and you're not going to know why it changes the value to that. And usually it's to the detriment of the position value when you're surprised like that. But having an analyzer like this gives me a chance to be able to play what-if scenarios. So what if the price changes? What if the implied volatility changes? What if the time changes? What's that going to do to the value of my position? Let me show you a quick example with this iron condor. Now, what I want you to focus on is the P&L open value that's down here. And we can also see an example of that P&L value on the white line. This is today's profit and loss. And the green line is the expiration profit and loss. This is just a simple high probability iron condor. We can see that with the current deltas, which are very, very low, that I can move the price around quite a bit here, and it's not going to really change the profit and loss of the position all that much. But what happens if I start to really move it? What's that going to do to the profit and loss of the position? Think about this as well. When we see a price move to the downside, what usually accompanies that? Well, what usually accompanies that is a big burst of volatility. So what's that going to do to the position if I start to see a big jump in volatility? Well, it's going to depress this position's value, isn't it? Because an iron condor like this is a short vega position. It responds negatively to increases in implied volatility. So we can continue to see this thing sort of trapped underwater as we get our move to the downside, which also speaks to our ability to have to hedge this type of position against moves like that. Now, what happens if we start to increment the time? Maybe we just say, well, let's see what happens to this trade if we go out further in time, right? So what's going to happen to that? Well, eventually this will catch up and we'll win on this trade, right? But we can change these variables, time, implied volatility, and price, until we understand how our position is going to respond to all three of those. Now, this is the analyzer that comes with Thinkorswim. So one of them is Thinkorswim. Has got a very nice analyzer to it. There's another third-party vendor which is called Option Net Explorer, which has a good interface. There's always Option View. Well, that's Option VUE. So Option View, like that. Okay, so these are three of the, so this comes with a broker. Some brokers like Options Express have a rudimentary analyzer like this, but it's pretty clunky and you can't do the same types of what-if scenarios with this. You can even buy third-party add-ins for Excel if you want to do something like that. So this one is Hodley.net. This is an Excel, Microsoft Excel add-in for this and is currently running at about $128. So this is a one-time purchase, and you can get yourself an analyzer. So this is something I think that everybody needs. Is if your broker doesn't provide this, if you can't get a broker that provides an analyzer function for this, and if you're not happy with the analyzer's ability on What If, then you're going to have to go third party right now. And so there are some increasing third party offerings that are out there. This one has been out there for a long time, and I know that people trust it a lot because they can play the what if scenarios with it. You know, it is what it is. I mean, these are the tools that you need for the trade. That's it for today's Market Minute. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.